So my question is for each of our panelists is what is one thing that you wish people understood about what it's like to experience this time of year with an eating disorder? And part of why I start with that question is just to kind of invite you to bring into the room all the different experiences that are in this group so that maybe others that are out there feel known and seen and heard and like they're not alone in it.
I have I have my feelings about it. I think that the main thing that I wish other people could understand that haven't lived with an eating disorder, haven't experienced it, is that likely a lot of feelings are going to take place. And for me, I know that I feel just for myself that I experience feelings at a very strong level. So if I have more than one feeling taking place at one time, I can get really overwhelmed with how much I'm feeling. And I wish people had more awareness around, oh, it's okay to have feelings. It's okay for there to be a lot coming up, and we can give you some space to sit with those feelings, and we don't need to make them go away or make them get smoothed over or only show the happy feelings or the ones that are more easy for folks to manage or engage with. So I think for me, it's that there's a lot of feelings are going to come up, and that we can hold space for all of them and not just the ones that might be more palatable, for lack of a better word. Yeah, and just the breadth that with which we might be experiencing those emotions all at one time. That feels really like I wish more people could understand that.
Mm. Yeah. And I would just add to that as well, like I just, as you say, like all the emotions, I wish people could understand just obviously, but like how difficult it is for people who have gone through an eating disorder or going through one, and how constant it is as well. Because I think people might think it's, you're only confronted with it around meal times, but still that's 3 times a day. That's more than most addictions or any, yeah, you're just like constantly reminded. And then, yeah, and it's not just meal times, like especially over the holidays, you're always confronted by like some sort of food, I don't know, invitation, or like people can be very forceful as well when it comes to eating around the holidays. So I just think it's like constant, like if people could just know that like it doesn't switch off at any time and just be like so much more mindful of that. Yeah.
Thanks for those comments. I would head a slightly different direction. My experience of attempting to hope or wish that somebody else would understand what I'm experiencing has been not a very good experience. And so I guess I would head toward, if I'm going into holiday season, here we are, I'm spending a lot more time prepping myself in all the ways that I know. I'm doing a lot more stretching and a lot more, I won't go into all the details because it may be triggering, but I'm just doing a lot more of the things that I know I need to do to keep Joan calm. And that is a very high order. Joan is not calm by definition, and by nature, by neurological, everything all under the sun. But if I go into a situation, the holiday dinner, it's more important for me to go in there ready, calm, prepared, at peace, so I can let the other people do whatever in the world they have to do. And I actually find it helpful just to kind of go through the whole thing and go back home again. And if nobody ever asks me a question, which they probably won't, I just have to deal with, wow, okay, that's a really triggering conversation that's been going on for an hour and a half, and get up and leave periodically. I actually sit on the edge of things for many different reasons, but I sit on the edge so I can actually exit without causing a lot of fluffle. And those are some of my thoughts. I have never found it helpful to find a way to help anybody understand that doesn't understand. If they haven't asked, they might not want to know right now. So that's my approach right now.
Oh, thanks, Joan. That is so true. Often those that don't understand, there's no amount of explaining it to them that sort of creates empathy out of nowhere. And sometimes it is really difficult for people to empathize with the inside of an eating disorder and all of that kind of constant chatter and anxiety and stuff that I think Gigi spoke to. I think I maybe also go a slightly different direction in this. And I think it goes both for what I wished others understand, but also what I hope that people with eating disorders who are maybe in that anxiety and all of that stuff is that I'm of the opinion that holidays are hard and the emotions around it are really difficult, and that everyone is coping with it in the best way that they can, and really should be given as much space as they need to do that. So, if that means sitting out a holiday meal or bringing a little, bringing their own food or something like that, I feel really permissive around that. And I'm not saying kind of like, I'm not trying to permit or say, oh, a person should be able to act out an eating disorder behaviors or any of that. I'm just saying that, sometimes there's a lot of pressure from family that you have to eat this meal, or I need you to come to this event so you can see your auntie who you haven't seen in blah, 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 blah. And I just go, I, I'm, it's okay for everybody's doing the best they can. And the way that they're coping with it is okay. And that's my approach, both in difficult family dynamics, at really challenging meals, you know, and I hope that those of you who maybe struggle with this give yourself that permission, that just like Joan said, I'm going to take care of myself the best way that I can, and that's okay, even if it makes someone else unhappy.
Can I add, Chelsea, for all the whole conversation we're having, I just ran across a very lovely poem about it's okay not to be okay, which I find out is also a song. But that is super important for me to know. You actually, you can not be okay, Joan. And the ceiling's not going to fall and your car's not going to blow up. Things like, oh no, I'm not okay. Therefore, all these horrible things will happen. It's just okay not to be okay. And I think that's real helpful. Okay, next question.
I love that. No, it's a really helpful reminder to be reminded, I think, for everyone that it's okay not to be okay, not even just in the recovery community, but for everyone right now and anyone that's having an experience.